conversation. I mean, I've enjoyed hearing
I see what you're saying, Steph.
I just don't have.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would have enjoyed, like actually critiquing the view, but since you don't make the view
you already
available,
have for like the last 15 minutes.
You've just been very evasive, and you've been very unwilling to actually answer questions, even when you've contradicted yourself. You want to acknowledge it. So.
Okay, well, we can take a little.
I'll have a smoke.
There's more prompts, but we'll take some audience questions. There's some super chats that we can get to. So we have, let's see. We have Just Gerald here with the $100 super Streamlabs message.
$100.
Thank you.
When women say, I wish I would have gone to school or focused on a career instead, I hear, my children are preventing me from freedom. If only these kids weren't alive, I could be happy.
All right, Just Gerald.
And you know what's always females that want to say that. Imagine a guy saying that. Oh man, I wish I went to school, not take care of my kids and my family. Society will change you for that. Because you have a duty, right? You have a duty to provide and protect. However, the duty of females is not taken into the consideration because we don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to hurt their feelings. And that's what feminism managed to achieve. Not holding females accountable with their, how do they call it again? Duties. They took the duties out of their equation and just let them be happy with no duties. And even if they're wrong, still society will not hold them accountable. And that's dangerous, guys. That's very dangerous. Because then you don't want your daughters to be divorcing left and right. You don't want your sons to be the victim of those divorces. You don't want that to happen.
Harold, thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to like the video, please.
Like the video, guys.
Make sure to... if you're watching on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow and a Prime sub. And, that's weird. Did that not go through? Okay. Going to get the soup chats here. We have Cole Marshall. Why would anyone... This is from earlier. This came in.
I saw this. That's funny.
Why would anyone care if you leave? Who are you? You're supposed to be defending your worldview. W. Andrew from Cole.
Yep.
Thank you, Cole, for the super chat. Do you want to respond to this? Or?
Oh, sure. Yeah. My name's Kylie.
See, that's an argument against Christian ethic. Yeah. The thing about that argument about Christian ethic, let me just give you this. Let's say that you have multiple generations, right? Multiple generations, and those ethics become new ethics through generation. But you say that those new generations will have the same ethics? That's the question. You're saying also, we need to teach our son how to treat women and daughters how to treat men. Yeah, 100%. Especially daughters, right? They have to learn. They're taking men for granted. That's the thing. They're really taking men for granted. I think showing them that you should respect men, right? Respect women, respect yourself. Like, show them respect to themselves, but also show them respect towards men.
I'll be
right back.
I'm sort of like an up-and-coming activist type person. I feel like I have my goal here was to educate just about feminism generally. So I'm sorry if that hasn't held up to your standards. But yeah, if I do leave, I think the debate would end. So I think that might be why people would care. But anyways, thank you for your comment.
We have Chaotic Fuzz. Why are you letting her hold the debate hostage? She's being a child saying, if I don't get my way, I'll leave. It's disrespectful to the platform and listeners.
I think it's disrespectful to be talked down to the way I am. So that is why it's not just about leaving and holding the platform hostage. It is rather a fact of protecting my integrity, and I will never let myself be in a place where I feel unsafe or like I'm being belittled. So if that does happen and continues to happen, I will leave. And it's not a reflection of, the platform or anything. It's just for me as well. So.
Okay. We have Lucas here. Ma'am, kindly address your emotional dysregulation. It's unimpressive, but more importantly, a telltale sign of an intellectual mediocrity flailing away. Wow, a lot of big words here, Lucas. In the undertow of cognitive dissonance, fallacious logic, and ultimately a fully metastasized mind virus. Do you want to respond to that from Lucas?
Sure. Lucas, it sounds like you pulled out your thesaurus for this, so congratulations on that. But I would like to say my IQ is relatively pretty high. I'm not going to talk about where I went to an Ivy League, but that doesn't matter. If you disagree with me, you're going to hate what I have to say regardless of whether I'm intelligent or not intelligent. So, but thank you for watching regardless.
Thank you, Lucas, for the message. Little Miss Feminist isn't interested in debating, only educating. Bad faith debate. Do you want to respond to that? Thank you, Rezel, for the soup chat.
For me, a debate is about exchange of knowledge. So if it doesn't become that, and it feels more like an ad hominem attack on me, I just will not talk.
Come on.
What a debate is to me is the refutation of ideas, or it can be the sharing of knowledge, also the refutation of ideas. We're here to debate feminism, the idea of debating feminism. I'll even grant 1 point that my opponent got, which was me dunking on me, right? Was that I confused the Mankind Initiative with the Mankind Project, right? So that's one thing. One thing I even did, right?
Appreciate
I
it.
dunked on myself, right, by misspeaking on one of these things. So there's a concession. But here's what I won't do. What I won't do is let you cross your arms and throw a fit and refuse to engage. When you go, no, I'm just not going to engage anymore. It's like, well, then we're not having a debate anymore. So I'd like to get back to the actual debate. And I'd like to continue
I really don't have as much of a stake in this as you do. So I'm genuinely,
I don't have any stake.
If we end right now, I'm more than happy. I'm so serious. I would go and lay out in the sun, enjoy the farmer's market. I'm here.
Wow, hey, just go, lady. We don't give a damn. At this point, Brian already got his money from the show. At this point, you have to let it go.
So why did you come to a debate if you're unprepared to debate?
Oh, because no, I'm not unprepared. I thought we were gonna have more of an exchange, and this feels more like an attack. So that.
Self, you say, we are here to deflate feminism, but brings Christianity, because that's his worldview, right? And in some instance, it's gonna come, right? That's his worldview. So in some weird way, throughout this debate, even when it comes down to ethic, it has to come through that. That's how he just move around this. But I see what you're saying.
That's why I'm not having very much fun.
I mean, look, I don't think that's a fair characterization of the exchange you guys
Finally,
had.
Brian.
There was a slightly...
It's open to interpretation.
There was a slightly heated moment exchange from both of you at the beginning of the show. I think it's okay. We're going to continue on with the conversation. Allow me to we have about 3 chats coming through, and then we'll get back to the debate. Rachel Wilson says, this is Andrew's wife here.
Oh.
Nobody's
Hello.
talking down to you, princess. Uh-oh, she wants to do a call-in. Do you want to talk to Andrew's wife?
She's afraid. She ain't going to do it.
I don't know, but okay. Andrew is just beating your arguments easily, and you feel embarrassed, so you're pretending he's insulting you. Okay. Thank you, Rachel, for that. Appreciate it. Donner, page 199, section 6.3 of the NIS-4 shows all the stats Andrew pointed out about female perpetrators. Anyone in chat can look it up. All right, thank you for that.
Even though she said she looked it up in 2 seconds, even though there's no possible
I know
way.
why.
Somebody says unmute. Okay,
Well,
thank you,
IQ.
Andrew. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but we have two chats coming here, and then we'll come back to the debate. So we have, one sec, we have Glocktavius. Thank you, Glocktavius.
Glocktavius donated $100. Kylie, you said you have a high IQ. What's your IQ?
I haven't taken an IQ test in a while, but when I was a child, they had me evaluated for having a high IQ because I was talking really young and all these things. But the last time I took a test, I think it was around a 150, but I don't.
She said 150, guys. She said 150. 150.
No,
crazy.
currently it was a while ago.
150?
Yeah.
That's
150.
genius level.
And I know you're going to say I'm not, so it's funny, but I know you probably think it's ironic.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah,
I just
basically,
said
Waco, that's what
considered
she's saying.
genius level.
Thank you.
He was about to congratulate you.
Thank you, Johnny.
Sorry.
Make sure you
I'm on the
subscribe
defense
and
a
like,
little
guys.
bit, but thank
really
you. I
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it, Andrew. I appreciate it.
Poor me, I just have an average IQ.
Okay,
Literally,
we have
average IQ.
And you know what? Look, here's a little. A lot of the super chats been a little mean. YOLO Swaggins says you're hot.
Thank
so
you.
if it's any,
Bro,
thank you, YOLO
what the
Swaggins,
hell?
for that. That does actually make me feel nice.
Thank you.
So.
Oh, Sims. I need my Sims. I need my Sims. That made me feel so good. She basically telling Brian and please treat me like that.
YOLO Swaggins, and then final chat here. Then we'll get back to the debate.
Yeah, right.
Six-pack Chad donated
150, yeah.
$100.
Chad.
I didn't
nice.
go to school for 4 years to be talked to like this. The girl boss can't handle the big meanie Andrew. You are the most insufferable broad I've ever seen on this show, including the hookers.
Damn, bro.
We have had a couple hookers.
Yeah, I've actually had that said to me quite a few times. So I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm glad you like Andrew and like you guys have that sort of connection. I think it's important to have
Sign
people that you
language
look
is
up to in
crazy
content
in this.
and stuff.
And so getting back to the
Yeah,
debate,
you're right. Intelligence relative. Although IQ does determine the way you can process some of the information. You can process the information. You want your society to have a 94 plus IQ. The reason you want that is because you want things to be fixed quicker. And that's what they determine IQ is. How fast can your society process or individual process information and just, get as much as out of it, right? That's why certain jobs are okay with people that are 80 IQ, 70 IQ. That's what I know about IQ. I'm not a huge expert on it, but I know IQ determines how fast people can process information, right, and look for solutions. But again, it's a skill that can be learned.
Did you want to continue on with the force doctrine conversation?
I do. But I need you to actually engage with my inquiry. The reason I'm giving you maybe I can
I thought we were going to switch topics. Oh, we're staying on this one.
So
I think he wanted to just finish it.
We weren't done with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason I want you to engage with it is because it's a falsifier for your worldview.
Okay.
And
sure.
If you refuse to engage, it looks like you're just refusing to allow the falsifier for your worldview. So can we if we can get back to it, I'd like to. My questions.
Yeah, that's true, Self-Flow. She said that 150 when I was a kid, whatever, but really, I'm not sure. Like, come on, if you took an IQ and you know for a fact, they probably told her that, and she just ran with it for years. She probably ran with it for years.
Starts with inherent rights. You claim that they're inherent, and I'm asking you, if a government's not giving them to you, and God's not giving them to you, where are they coming from?
That's a good question. So if we just existed, there was no government, and I was an atheist, I would, in theory, have the ability, the right to walk around freely, to make myself food, to do all these things without the fear of violence. But if violence did happen, then we would have to create...
How would you, in theory,
because I believe that communities...
to just walk around without any threat of violence?
Because there were plenty of communities that have done that in
Does
the
a
past.
rabbit have the ability to walk around without any threat of violence inherently?
No, but I'm not a rabbit.
Yeah,
so
I know. But the thing is like, why not? Why doesn't the rabbit have that?
Yo, what's
because
up
they're
with the
predators.
Sims, man?
So what would our predator be? Are you saying men are the predators?
Well, or women? Or
But if men are the predators,
Yeah.
that goes against everything we talked about in the first half of the debate.
Or women? Did you hear that part? Or women? Like, women can assault you. Doesn't require a man, doesn't require a penis for somebody to assault you. So the thing is like, if it is the case then that the rabbit has no inherent rights because there's predators or people who would be predatory, or even if we said that there would be some men who would be predatory even, how do you have this right to walk around unmolested and the rabbit does not?
So you are wanting me to say that we have force, we have to enforce it, right? Which we do.
I'm just asking
But
for
I don't
your
think we have
answer.
to enforce it through like physical force. I think we can enforce it through like words and like being able to like speak to each other.
Oh
and,
my
like,
The rabbit
God,
screams
yo,
and the
there you
coyote
go.
doesn't care.
And the delusional statements just are starting to come through. At this time, she already lost it, guys. Through words, man. We can enforce this through words. Oh my God. There you go, the 150 IQ, I guess. For such a high IQ, she can't seem to listen to what is actually said. Yeah. Yeah, and high IQ people, they tend to be very emotionally regulated. And one of the exercises to just improve some of your IQ is to make sure you can even regulate your emotions.
So if it's the case that people don't care about whatever the wolves don't care about what the rabbit says, right? They don't care about the rabbit screams. Does the rabbit have rights?
If the wolf doesn't care if the rabbit screams, does the rabbit have rights?
Yeah.
Is an interesting question. I suppose
The rabbit has the right to not get eaten by the wolf?
But like, again, I mean, I think most people would agree that there is a fundamental distinction between humans and animal societies. So I don't understand how it's relevant to my point.
In this case, the equation would just be a rabbit is a biological walking being, right? And so is a wolf. The rabbit does not have the right not to get eaten by the wolf. What gives you any inherent right to not be in any way assaulted, molested, undignified, or whatever, if it is the case that people want to do this to you? What is the inherent right there?
Right. I could ask you the same thing.
Yeah, but why don't you answer the question, then ask yours?
No. I'm saying I could ask. Sorry. Figuratively, I could ask you the same thing in terms of like what would give you the right to walk around and to like be respected and have your wife Rachel talk to you and
force.
But I don't think it has to be. I think historically a lot of it has been.